I'm very excited to welcome Donna and Marioli to the conversation, and we'll switch screens here, Marioli, and you guys can go for it. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. Good morning and happy Friday. Again, as John said, my name is Donna Burnham, and I've been with 211 for 25 years. So I've been around since the conception of 211. Even before it was called 211, it was called First Call for Help. So I'm excited to be here and just share some information. As I start, I'd like to say that 211 is the best kept secret in Metro Atlanta. There's so many people that don't know about 211. And so we're hoping that with your help, you can spread the word, and hopefully this can help some of the people that you deal with and serve with and work with throughout the years. So 211, we are the very first 211 contact center in the nation. It started right in Metro Atlanta in 1997. So we're about 23 years old. And our goal is to educate and empower the community. We are the only 211 in the state of Georgia that is accredited by AIRS, which is the Alliance of Information and Referral System. So there are now about 243 211s across the country, and there are 10 in Georgia. And the listing is right there. The ones where you see the asterisks are the ones that we handle their calls and their texts for them if they are using text services. And so how it would work, let's say somebody from Columbus or in Columbus, the city of Columbus, they was to dial 211, it will come over to the Atlanta Center, and we have their database with all of that community's information, and we would be able to just help them. So it's just very seamless. Columbus residents would not even know that they're talking to my team here in Atlanta. And I think some of you may not be from the Metro Atlanta area. If you see on the bottom where it says to find other 211s, there is a website you can go to, it's 211.org. If you put your city, I think your zip code in there, even a county in there, they will direct you to the very closest 211 service for that area. Ways to connect. So we're really proud to say that we have, it's about 10 different ways that you can actually connect to 211. And you can, of course, dial just 211 from a landline or your cell phone to speak with my team, and we call them community connection specialists. Or you can text your need and your zip code to 898-211. And that text version is similar to a call. It's the same call flow, it's just in a text version. We have something called Text OD, and that bypass an agent. So if we have if a person is on hold for a little bit, if in our busy season, and if they choose not to hold and they just want to get some help and not talk to somebody, they can use their phone and just dial Text OD to 898-211. Or you can visit our website, which is a self-service comprehensive database. As we update our database, you'll see all the updates immediately. You can also, we have a new digital agent called Charlie. We named it Charlie. And you can find Charlie on our website as well. And then if you want to email to speak to communicate with the specialist, you can email, or you can just download the 211 app, and you can have the 211 comprehensive database with you at all times. So the system that we use is a web-based system called Navigate, and it's a database system, and we have about 335 local and statewide resources in our database, and we have great capacity as far as reporting. That is what 211 is really known for, is our data. our data across the board, not only in Georgia, but across the nation. We together probably handle between 12 to 15 million contacts a year. And so if you look down, you'll see all the different demographics, some of the things that we collect when you are calling or texting and you're talking to one of my community connection specialists. We will ask you some demographic questions. So we want to get that data because it's so important to know who is calling. And so we can go and do a deep dive as far as from state, city, zip code level, gender, household composition, age range. I can tell you right now, the top age range that calls us is between 25 and 35. The gender is female. Household composition is female, single females with children. And the city, the county that we get the most contacts from are for Fulton County, DeKalb County, and then I think Clayton County is third. This right here is just showing you our needs category. As I mentioned earlier, we are a comprehensive information and referral service. So we have just about every type of need you can possibly think of. It may not be in your zip code, but overall, we probably have that service in our database somewhere. And so it's broken down into like food, just gives you an opportunity to see what goes under food. It could be food pantry, food vouchers, food stamps, if you're looking for a soup kitchen. So each need, just think of it as just like a library index table. And then you can do a deep down from there to get to even healthcare. Is it dental? Are you looking for a service on a sliding scale fee? And so we can do that with each and every category. And as I mentioned earlier about our stats, so right hot off the press, because our fiscal year ended in June. And so here are our numbers. And so just about 500,000 contacts for last fiscal year, which is a little lower than the following year. And you can see from our e-services, which include live chat, email, text, and web search, it's about 361,000. And then traditional contacts, which are phone and postal, it's 134,000. And altogether, guys, from the beginning, from 1997 until June, we have assisted and served over 10 million people. So I wanted you to see, just to give you, so you can see what our average on a monthly basis in each category would be. And so as you can see, our web search, people really like to just go to the web search because you can do that 24/7, 365 days a year. And our web search is very user-friendly. We will actually have a demo to show you later. So a lot of people go to the website and they can do it multiple times. They may have one need, they may have 3 needs. Whatever the situation is, they can go to our website and then you can see the phone. Those are the people that choose to call us, and our texts, and so on. When we say postal, you say 5 to 7, about a month. And we usually get mail from individuals that are incarcerated and they're about to get released. And so they're looking for resources that can possibly help them once they get out and return to society. So these are our top referrals. So we have 2 categories. On the left-hand side, we have the contacts, and then on the right, we have the online. And those online, again, are those are the folks that go online for themselves and look at their database. So rent, you can see, is pretty similar across the board. And this is throughout the years. It may change. We may have utility or electric bill be number 1 or food number 2, but it's usually these top 3. And I'm not sure if you know that you can also contact us if you're looking to volunteer or if you want to donate some items that you may have. And so you can contact us, and we have that information in our database as well. This is our Power BI COVA dashboard. Yes, so I couldn't think of it, dashboard. And I just wanted to do a screenshot and show you and just kind of give you, because we're right in COVA, and unfortunately it looks like that the numbers are increasing again. And so these numbers may definitely start increasing again. But if you can see the second week, which was in March when we started this dashboard, it was 131% increase from last year at the same time. So we were very, very busy. And so, and the top the needs were rent, I believe. I really can't even see that. My screen is so small, but I think it's rent.
Food.
And food, yes, rent and food. And you probably know just from what was on the news, but we were really tracking this information on a daily, hourly, because the news and everybody just wanted to know who was calling, what was the needs. So my team did a great job of coming up with this dashboard and was able to utilize it through, and we will probably be utilizing it much more again, unfortunately. This is something good that I think that would help this group of providers, and a lot of people do not know. If you haven't visited our website, we have downloadable free directories and guides that individuals can just download for free. So we have critical needs, and that's really resources that are dealing with your basic needs services, like your rent and your utility, etc. Then we just have a health guide. We have a guide and a directory just dedicated to mental health resources and drug addiction, job resources, people with disabilities. We have a Spanish guide. And so the resources for ex-offenders, that is the guide that we would mail to the individuals, what I mentioned earlier, that contact us and want some resources. We do have a comprehensive guide, and that is of course, because it's a combination of everything. And these guides are updated on a quarterly basis. And so I invite you to visit our website, and you see it there, to get a hold of some of those guides, and it may be useful for the work and the people that you're working with. Special initiatives. And so technology has been really great for us, and we really utilize and really come up with different ways where we can use technology. And so in our texting platform, we have used the texting platform for the opioid abuse prevention. Now, this is something that other 211s across the nation are doing as well. You know, that has been an epidemic for a while. And so we really wanted to hone in and see how we can help our communities. And so if you text the word opioid, any which way, because I know it can be difficult sometimes, any which way to 898-211, you will get a listing of awareness, prevention, and treatment resources. The same thing with You Can. So You Can, it stands for You Can Act Now, and this is to stop human trafficking. And this is something me and my team came up with, and so it's only dedicated to the Metro Atlanta community, but it mimics the opioid version. So the Ride United. So we are partnering with Lyft and United Way Worldwide. We've been doing this for probably over a year now, and it was created to assist the communities with transportation needs. So anyone can, these are the type of rides that are available. And so through our partnership, these are some of the things that they have mandated to us. So if you're interested in just trying to get a free Lyft ride, to go to your friend's house, you cannot call 211 for that. These are the type of rides that you can use them for. So for food, pantry, grocery, if you're trying to go to a food pantry or pick up grocery and you have a client that does not have access to a ride, they can call 211. The same thing with healthcare, non-emergency healthcare needs, employment, any type of employment or pre-employment steps like fingerprints, they can call 211 and we can get them a ride to and from, to the place and back home. And the same thing with financial assistance. These are the restrictions to using the Lyft rides. Passengers must call 211 to request a ride, so you cannot use any of our service platforms. You have to call and speak to a community connection specialist. Rides are only that they can be scheduled between the hours of 8 and 6, only Monday through Friday. If a passenger misses their ride, it cannot be rescheduled because we're charged for that. And this is not a special Lyft program. These are just regular Lyft drivers. So when we set up these rides, they are not aware of who is getting in a car. They don't know that this is a partnership or how they're getting paid. So they're just doing their job. So if someone misses their ride, you can see it is expensive for us. And so it's really important for them to be on time. The drop off, it must be within a 25-mile radius from the original pickup point. Clients must have their own car seat. Again, this is just a regular sedan car. So if they need children in a car and they need a car seat, they would need to provide that. The same thing with a wheelchair. Wheelchairs must be foldable and be able to fit into a 4-door sedan. Rides can be scheduled within 2 days of their appointment. So if a person knew that they had a interview, let's just say, or they had to go get fingerprinted for a job or looking for food, whatever, we can schedule it up to 2 days in advance. And I guess you all would remember even in the beginning of COVID when a lot of schools, they were having these drive-through formats. We cannot use Lyft for that purpose. And of course, especially now, masks and face coverings are a must. No more than 3 passengers per ride. And no rides are scheduled for Saturday and Sunday. And then we love success stories. If we want to continue with these partnerships, Lyft would love success stories from people and agencies and providers that are using the service, and as well as United Way 211 and United Way Worldwide. Just some facts, some questions that we think that you probably are wondering. How many clients can refer to 211? You can just refer as many as you like. You could start referring people now, telling them to call 211 if they're needing transportation. Let's see, how long is the program? So this program ends on August 31st or when our credits run out, whichever one is first. And when you just call, you just let them know that you need a Lyft ride and tell them your appointment, and then we'll take it from there. And Marioli is on this call, on this conference call. If you have any questions, she'll be happy to answer any of your questions. I also just wanted to let you guys know about our customer satisfaction and quality measurements, because customer service is very, very important to me, my team, 211, United Way. And so for each platform, we have some type of customer service experience that we would like to just find out how their experience was. So on a call, we follow up with about 12% of our calls. And so at the end of a call, you may hear one of my client referral specialists ask if they can follow up within a week, because we want to just see what happened after you have reached 211. Live chat, there's a follow-up, and the same thing with text. If you're on our website, immediately right after you utilize our website, a survey will pop up asking you about your customer service experience. Okay, so I'm hoping most of you are in our database, but if not, and you're interested in being in our database, you could just go to our website, to the United Way website, just click on Need Help, and then there's a downloadable application. And Nora Plain is there, and she's charged with that work. That's her job, to go out and find new resources for our database. We do have an inclusion and exclusion criteria. You can find that information there as well. But if you have any questions, Nora will be the person that will be able to assist you. So I just wanted to uplift our social media sites, and our social media sites have become popular. So during disasters, and thank God that we don't have a lot of disasters in Georgia, but when we do have inclement weather, and sometimes the city needs to shut down, it takes a while for agencies to adjust their hours to meet the need of whatever that disaster may have been. And so my resource team will sometimes look on agencies' Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, just to find out what they're doing. Sometimes that is the best way of finding out the most updated information, because the 211's goal is to really educate the community, and we want to make sure that we are doing a good job of disseminating the correct and the most accurate information. And then sometimes we also receive requests from Facebook as well. So that's been popular as well. And so here, I just wanted to show you a video of one of my community connection specialists.
My name is Ariella, and I work for United Way 201 as a senior agent for approximately about 5 years. During the summer months, we do see an increase of percentage of individuals calling in that are unable to feed their children. And it's not only young, it's middle age, also seniors that are grandparents that have children as well, that are on fixed incomes, that are unable to make the needs to provide for their family for the necessities such as food, shelter, and clothing. Recently had a phone call of a young woman that was unemployed, contemplating suicide because she was unable to feed her children. At that time, we made that professional connection. We were able to partner up with, feeding programs as well as job resources to help her with that situation. The response that I received back from the caller when I provided the resources to her, it felt like a sigh of relief. Like, now I'm able to provide for my children. I'm able to possibly find a job where I'm able to provide more for my child and myself, to better myself. Depending on the type of call that we receive, we always at the end of the call ask for the client's permission to do a follow-up call. And in this particular case, I asked her for the permission to do the follow-up call, and she was perfectly fine with that. Gave her a couple of weeks, called her back to see how everything went with the partnering agencies, and she conveyed to me that she's in a job training program. So at that point, it was more of a success. I'm proud to be a 211 agent, because the level of customer service that we serve and provide is superior. We're not judgment-free zone. We are sympathetic, empathetic to one's needs, and that's where we make that connection to the community.
And so right now, Marioli Botero, who is my database director, who does all and have been involved in all of our database and e-services component. She's just going to do some quick demos from our website.
Good morning, everybody. So this is our 211 website, and the link to it is 211online.unitedwayatlanta.org. When you get to it, this is it. Here we have our Charlie bot, which Donna talked to you about it before. And you can actually use it to here we do the search for you if you ask them in natural language what it is that you need. But just to show you quickly on the website, the fields here on the top are required for you to be able to do the search. So you will have to enter your zip code. And when you enter your zip code, the system will automatically populate the city. And if it's one of those zip codes where they split amongst other cities, then the system is going to ask you which city it is. And you just have to select which city and county you're in. The age and gender fields, those are not required. Only the zip code and city are. If you put in your age and gender, that just creates a filter in the language. They work as a filter to filter out the results that you will receive on the search. If you're looking for COVID-19 resources, you can just click here on this page, and it will take you to our COVID-19 page where we have all the resources pertaining to COVID-19, which are right here. Go back to the home page. So I'm back on the home page, and here you see all the different categories that we have our resources divided into. So I'm going to do just a quick search so you see how easy it is to search using our database. And since everybody here is an employment assistance agency, I'm going to use employment services. If I was looking for a job, I could just come here into our employment services category, and then we have our list of different lists of type of employment services that we have available, agencies that we have available in our database. So if you're just looking for job search, you can just click on that. And then under that, so this would be, we started with the category job services. This is the subcategory, job search assistance. And then under the subcategory, we got the services that the person can select from. So what kind of services that they're looking for. If they're looking for, let's just say a job fair, they can just click on job fair. And then it will show you the agencies that provide job fairs, but that may have information about job fairs. Here, so we have 11 agencies here that provide the service for this zip code, which is 30316, the one I put. This is the survey that Donna was talking to you about. I'm just gonna click cancel so I can continue, but that was the survey. Here, when you click on view detailed information, it will show you all the details about each specific agency and their program. So for every program, we capture their service description, their hours, if they have intake hours, the eligibility, their intake, the documentations, all these fields we capture when we are entering the information into our database. These are all the other services that this agency provides. I believe this is Goodwill. No, the Atlanta Center for Self-Sufficiency. So these are all the other services that they told us that they provide. And then, let's see. Here, if you, let's say you're doing the search for somebody else and you want to email or text the information to the person, you can just click here where it says email. You select which one you want to do. If you want to send it as a text, you put the phone number here and you just click on send. Or if you want to email it, you just click on send us an email. You enter the email address, send, and it would send all this information out, whether it's through a text or through the email. Or if you just want to print it, you could just click on print and it will print it out for you. You can also, from here, you can go to their website or you can send them an email. You can close the details and go to the next agency. And like I said, this is Goodwill. Like I said, it just shows all the details about the program for that organization, and then the additional services that they provide. If you wanted to change categories, because let's just say you decided that, oh, okay, well, now I also need financial assistance. You just have to go back. You can just click on start over, and it will take you back. 3 and 6. Oh, it's okay. 3031. 16. And then you just can select a different category. Like if you were looking for financial assistance, you just click financial assistance, and under financial assistance, we have many different types of financial assistance, excuse me, that people can search for. So if they were looking for utility assistance, they would just have to click here for utility bill payment. And then select which kind of utility payment assistance they need. So our database is very detailed into, we don't just say we help with utility assistance, we say people had to search with specific what type of assistance they're looking for. So like for the utility assistance, then we have to say it's electric, gas, water, or heating fuel, wherever it is. It has to be very detailed. So if I click electric, and again, we see all the results. There's 30 agencies that help that zip code. So I could just look and see the details for each organization and make sure that I qualify for the services, because some agencies like this one, they serve very specific type of people. So this is Giving Kitchen, and they only help people that are work in the food industry. So if I don't work in the food industry, they will not help me. So that's the good thing about this. Since you have all the resources here, you can just keep going down the line until you find one that matches your criteria. And I think, so that is it for the 211 demo. Oh, so on our 211 website here, you can also find information about our 211. This is our story, how 211 started, and our mission and vision. Then we have a link for the service providers so that they can provide us their updated information, or if it's a new agency that wants to be listed in the database. This takes people back to the United Way website. And then this is for people who may still need to contact us. They can come here and send us an email by filling out all these fields. And we try to respond to all the emails within 4 to 5 hours of receiving the email. We do it sooner, but we just like to give ourselves a little bit of time. So that's how we do it. And then the homepage is back to searching. So.
Thank you, Marioli. So I think we're ready for questions. Dana and John, if we have questions.
And we actually do. Dana, do you see the ones in the chat box? Do you want to grab those, or would you like me to read?
I do. So thank you both, Donna and Marioli, for that great overview of 211. I have to say I did not pay them to plug Atlanta Center for Self-Sufficiency, but I'm glad our information was updated. So, but we do have a lot of questions, or a couple of questions that are related specifically to the LIFT program. So I would like to start there. There was questions about will it be renewed beyond August 31st? Is it available in some of the rural areas? So there's another question in relation, is there a limit to how many times a person can use the service?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, Mariella, you could take it.
Okay, so the first question was, is it going to be renewed? Yes, right now it has been renewed. So there's actually 2 different programs that we are going to be going on. This one in particular, which is for employment, is called the Employment Access Program. That one is going to start on July the 20th, and it's going to end on December the 31st. So if you have a client that needs rides to go to work, because their car broke down or because they started a new job and they haven't gotten paid yet, and so they need rides to go to work, they can call 211 and request the rides. Can they get multiple rides? Yes, they can. We are allowed through this program, again, the Job Employment Access Program, we are allowed to provide up to 5 round trips per person. So that's the maximum that they can receive. Again, excuse me, this starts from July the 20th to December 31st. Is it available in the rural areas? No, it's not, unfortunately. Well, let me take that back. It's available on our 13 counties that we serve. So some of those counties are rural, like Butts County. So as long as there are Lyft drivers over there, we can dispatch rides in those areas. So it's only for our 13 metro counties that United Way serves. And what was the other question? I think I answered it with how many rides they can get. It's five round trips.
5 round trips per person.
Yes.
Okay, great. Someone asked if you will receive a copy of the slide deck. Yes, we will send that out following the presentation. There was another question about how do you check to see if your agency is listed in the database?
You can always visit our website and search for your agency online. And if you don't find it, you just contact Nora, and then she can get she can get it started as to getting it into the database. And then also, if you are listed in the database and you need to update the information, you can always email me, and then I can either do it or I could get somebody else to do it that works with me.
Right. There was also a question about where do we submit success stories to you all?
So
how do we do that?
Success stories for Lyft that can come to me, and I will share those with Lyft and United Way Worldwide.
What is the best way to reach you all to discuss possible collaboration and partnership opportunities?
For the Lyft program, or?
I think it's in general. So if an agency was interested in partnering with you, would they contact Donna or would they contact Marioli?
If it's outside of Lyft, they can contact me. If it pertains to Lyft, they can contact Marioli.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one more question related to Lyft. The rides can be requested in advance. I think you said up to 2 days before the actual appointment.
Right.
Yes.
Correct. Or
okay. And is there?
If it's in the same day, it has to be 4 hours before the appointment, a minimum of 4 hours.
A minimum of 4 hours. Okay. And is there a time period? I know it was available Monday through Friday. Is there a cutoff point to when, in terms of time? Is it 5 p.m.? Is it 8 p.m.?
So we can dispatch rides between 8 and 6 p.m.
There's another question related to the comprehensive guidebook that's available, the $35 fee. How do you order that? Is that on your website?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
On the United Way website, when you go there and you click on help, you would scroll down. I think it's almost to the middle of the page, and you'll see the directories. And then there's also an order form that can be downloaded. You fill it out and send it in to us, and then we'll do it. If you want to pay with a credit card, you can call 211, and then they'll transfer you over to the person that handles those requests. And then he'll be able to take the information over the phone and charge the credit card and mail out the directory.
Okay. Do you have any programs specifically for veterans?
We did. United Way had a program for the veterans. They no longer do. However, we do have resources that are specific for veterans. And on our website, we have a category that's specific for veterans. You can always go there if you're looking for services for veterans to find everything that is for veterans is going to be under that category.
Okay. Can you talk about how up-to-date the information is in the database? How often things are updated? Is it based on the agencies having to go in and update, or do you all reach out and find out if there's updates? How is that process managed?
So the updates are done by Shannon. Shannon works with me and with Nora. And so she's in charge of updating all the 3,500 resources in the database. A minimum of one formal update per resource on an annual basis. But on a daily basis, she's always updating the database. Sometimes when people call us back and say, oh, the information you gave me is wrong, the agent will let Shannon know that, and then she'll contact the agency and get everything updated. Another way is we, I think it's quarterly, she sends about, we have the system set up to send out about 500 emails to 500 different agencies to request their updates. Once and everything is done through the website, and they'll log in, do the update, it comes to Shannon. Shannon makes sure that everything's, she gets it and she puts it into the database. And like Donna mentioned, once she puts an update in the database, immediately our website, our app, the database that the agents use to provide referrals, everything gets updated. So there's no delay on any updates that we provide. We do take agencies out of the database, excuse me, for when they don't provide updates to us. If we try at least to get it through email, we call, we do we mail, we do everything we can to update the agencies. But if we are unable to, then we do take the agencies out of the database if we are unable to get updates. Because the way we see it is, if we, 211, cannot get in touch with you, imagine the people not being able to get in touch with them either. So that's, and we don't want to provide wrong information.
Right. I know that one of the comments that we tend to hear from job seekers or clients that we send is that, you'll provide a list of maybe 4 or 5 agencies that provide, for instance, financial assistance, because that's the major category if someone's looking for rental assistance or utility assistance, and then they say, I've called all 5 and they're all out of money. What do I do now? So what advice would you give to agencies that are encountering clients that have those concerns?
Well, what we do on every Monday, Shannon reaches out to all of the top financial providers, and we specifically ask them each week, do you have funding? And if they don't, then we can remove that taxonomy, that need from that agency. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes, unfortunately, individuals do not tell the truth as well, or they may say I've called, or they haven't called, or they may have used that agency services in the past. And each agency have their own set criteria as far as how many times they'd be able to assist a person. It may be once in a lifetime, it may be once a year. It really is up to those agencies. We don't have ownership of any of that information. But I would suggest, and this is a time to brainstorm, because there may be agencies that are out of funds or are not able to meet that client's needs. Then we start brainstorming about, have you checked any local churches? Have you checked with family and friends to see if they're able to help you out? Have you checked with any public assistance services? So those are the times to try to start brainstorming with that individual.
Thank you. Looks like we have one person raising their hand. Jared Turner, if you want to mute yourself and then ask your question.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. I wanted to know, did you have, well, one thing, but I wanted to know, did you have any specific offering for veterans as well? Like, were there any specific resources just dedicated to the veterans here in the metro area?
Yes. So when a veteran calls 211, we do ask if they are veterans. So, and then depending on the services, we would look for agencies that assist veterans. And like there's some, I think it's, forget which one it is, but there's agencies that offer the SSBF program. United Way used to offer it, but we don't anymore. So is what we do is we just refer them to the agencies that still provide the SSBF program. And like I mentioned before, we have, you know, depending on the service that they're looking for, we have many different agencies that provide services specifically to veterans. So, you know, they can just call. When they call, we'll ask them if they are veterans, and then we'll look for those agencies that will help them. And on the website, we do have the category that's specifically for veterans, where we have all the services listed also, all the different kinds of services that they can get.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate that.
Thank you for your question. Another question that came up is in terms of categories that are receive the most requests. So you mentioned rental assistance, utility assistance, financial assistance in those areas. Do you find that there are categories that you receive a lot of requests for, that there are gaps in the community where, you know, you get a lot of calls and someone's asking specifically for a resource that, that doesn't exist either within that neighborhood that they're looking for or generally throughout the region that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, there's one specific resource that we get a lot of, I mean, we get a lot of phone calls for, which is hotel payment assistance. We don't have any agencies that provide that type of assistance. And there's just nothing that we can do about it. I think there's one organization in Rockdale who is providing the service, but you have to meet their criteria, and you have to be in Rockdale. They don't help any other counties. And so that's the one service that is so hard to help anybody with, because it's just not anybody offering that service out there. And it's the same thing on the website. I see it on the website, people searching for it, and I see it, people calling for it.
Thank you. If there are any other questions, please feel free to continue putting them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you. We have about 8 minutes left, so we want to make sure all of your questions are answered. Again, this recording, the presentation is recorded, so you can go back and listen to it at a later date. And we will also send out the PowerPoint slide to everyone as well. And if you have any other questions, we'll continue to field those questions. Another question that has come up is in terms of frequent users. So do you track the how many times individuals or families are calling, and, you know, kind of see if there's a continuous pattern of, you know, every month they need assistance, or their needs are consistent, and so, you know, trying to be more deliberate about helping them get past the hump? Or do you work with agencies that you can refer them to that can help them with bigger issues?
Yeah, we are a confidential information referral service, so we don't track names. We don't take a person's name unless we're doing follow-up on that person, and then we'll just ask them, can we follow up with you? But yes, the way the biggest way that people contact us is through self. So people are calling back or going to the website. That's the number one way people find out about us, because we do ask that question, how did you hear about us? And then it's through an agency, maybe an agency like a Salvation Army or something, they have referred them. And then it's just person to person, just somebody have probably told them about our services. So when we also ask a person, if you have used our service before, are you calling for the same need or a different need? So we know that it is repetitive for individuals. It's not like when I first started where a person would need help and then they would be good after they received maybe financial assistance with their rent, mortgage, utility, etc. Unfortunately, when people are being unemployed or underemployed, etc., it's just so hard for individuals just to stay afloat. And people are, like a lot of us, are just living paycheck to paycheck. And this coronavirus is not helping at all, as you all know, and probably have experienced, especially in your field, probably of all the people that are coming to you for guidance and trying to get some employment opportunities.
Thank you. One last question, and then I'll turn it back over to John to close us out. Do you ever take interns in the 211 center?
Yes, we do. You would have to contact our HR department because throughout the years, a couple of times a year, they will have a group of interns, and I'm not sure if it's a specific program or specific school that they're working with, but they will reach out to United Way employees to see if you're interested in working with the intern for that quarter, and we would need to fill out an application, etc. So if anybody is interested in that, they would need to contact the United Way HR department.
Well, I want to thank Donna and Marioli for your time today and for answering the questions. Thank you to the participants for providing really great questions. I hope we were able to answer them, and then I'm going to turn it back over to John.
Thank you.
Okay, Dana, thank you so much. Donna and Marioli and Dana for your moderation of the questions and the Q&A. We appreciate that. Just a quick, a few minutes here as we close out. There was great information, and I hope that everybody really takes the time to update your profile. The information in 211 is only as good as what we make it. So make sure that the 211 folks know what's going on with your organization, and that we really do use this resource to help support our workforce development services too. So next Max Minutes, be back here July 24th, 9 a.m. You'll be getting the invite to Zoom again with us and learn something new, and to collaborate and to connect with our peers and colleagues across the region. The next Max Leadership Network, the virtual lunch meeting with Gears, Georgia Early Education Alliance for Ready Students, long name. So I like their acronym there. August 10th at 11:30 a.m. Bring your lunch and enjoy that information session with us about Gears too. So be sure and read your Max Mondays. Be sure and let people know what's going on with your organization and with your service delivery through Max Monday. And on that, let me thank Joy Wilkins, who is our staff support for Max in general, and she's a wizard behind the curtain today and every day. So thank you, Joy, for your assistance in making this happen. Hope everyone has a wonderful week. It's been a long one for us. I know there's a lot going on in the world. Take care of yourselves and take care of your people. And again, just acknowledging our anchor sponsors. And we hope that you have a great day and a great weekend. Thank you. Take care.